Brad Pitt, once the image of a devoted father, has reportedly removed his daughter Shiloh from his $300 million estate.
Shiloh famously requested to drop her father's last name on her 18th birthday in 2024, having her become Shiloh Jolie rather than Shiloh Jolie-Pitt.
Shiloh Jolie-Pitt has grown under the weight of Hollywood's brightest spotlight, yet she continues to carve her own path.
Shiloh Jolie-Pitt is a bona fide dancing queen, proving she's an artist in the making and that talent runs in the family.
The decision stunned the world, raising questions no one can easily answer. What could lead a father to such a choice? And what does it reveal about a daughter finding her own strength? Beyond the headlines, Shiloh's journey is one of resilience, identity, and quiet defiance, a story still unfolding before our eyes. The creation of Brangelina. The story of Shiloh begins long before her birth, with the meeting of her parents on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2003. The film was supposed to be just another action romance, yet it became the backdrop of one of Hollywood's most talked-about relationships. At that time, Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston, a beloved star in her own right, while Angelina Jolie was raising her son Maddox on her own. When rumors spread about their growing closeness, the media seized every detail. The whispers of an affair soon overshadowed the movie itself, and the public divided sharply in opinion. In 2005, Brad and Jennifer announced their separation, and soon after, Brad was seen with Angelina in public. Together, they became known as Brangelina, a couple larger than life. Their bond was not only romantic, it was purposeful. Together, they dreamed of building a family and of using their fame to try and change the world. Building a global family. Once their relationship was public, Brad and Angelina began shaping a family unlike any other in Hollywood. Angelina had already adopted Maddox from Cambodia, and in 2005, she brought home Zahara from Ethiopia. Brad supported the decision fully, later adopting both children as his own. Their actions showed that their love was not only for each other, but for building a larger, connected family. In 2006, the couple welcomed their first biological child, Shiloh, in Namibia. They chose the distant African nation to avoid the glare of paparazzi and to give their child a peaceful start. A year later, they added Pax from Vietnam, and in 2008, Angelina gave birth to twins, Knox and Vivian. Together, the children represented a mix of cultures and stories, each one cherished equally. Brad and Angelina encouraged them to stay close to their roots, celebrating traditions and visiting their homelands. For Angelina, motherhood became her purpose. For Brad, fatherhood brought joy and grounding. Their home became a symbol of love without borders. Shiloh's birth, a symbolic beginning. In May 2006, the world's attention turned to Namibia, where Brad and Angelina quietly welcomed their first biological child. The choice of location was deliberate. They wanted a space far from Hollywood cameras, a place where peace could surround their daughter's first days. They named her Shiloh, a word that carried the meaning of peace and calm, something they both longed for in their chaotic lives. Her arrival was treated like a global event. Magazines fought for the first photographs, and headlines described her as the most famous baby in the world. At only a few weeks old, her image was everywhere. Madame Tussauds even created a wax figure of her, making her the youngest person ever to be honored in that way. She even made a tiny appearance in her father's film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. For Brad and Angelina, Shiloh represented not just family, but hope, an anchor of innocence in a life lived under constant watch. Early signs of individuality. As Shiloh grew, it became clear she was different. By the age of 3, she asked to be called John, and often chose clothes that looked more like her brother's than her sister's. Her short haircuts and playful suits quickly caught attention, sparking endless speculation in tabloids and conversations among fans. Angelina spoke about it openly in interviews. She explained that Shiloh had a strong sense of who she was, even at such a young age, and as parents, they wanted to respect that. She thinks she's one of the boys," Angelina once said, adding that the family encouraged her freedom of choice. For Brad and Angelina, it wasn't about what the public thought, it was about giving their daughter the chance to explore her identity without shame. Their support became a shield against the constant noise of outside voices. This early expression of individuality made Shiloh stand out, not as just another Hollywood child, but as someone carving her own space in a world eager to define her. Style, evolution, and redefining identity.
Shiloh Jolie-Pitt has been in the public eye since before she was born, and her fashion choices have always drawn attention.
As the years passed, Shiloh's sense of style grew into something unmistakably her own. On red carpets, while her siblings often chose classic gowns or suits, Shiloh appeared in outfits that broke expectations. From sharp blazers to tailored trousers, she carried herself with ease, unbothered by the chatter around her. Each appearance added to her image as someone unafraid to be different. But her journey didn't stop there. In 2021, she surprised many at the premiere of Eternals. Shiloh walked beside her mother in a Dior gown, a look that blended elegance with confidence. It showed not a change of identity, but an expansion, a willingness to explore, to redefine, to keep people guessing. For the public, her transformation became a fascination. For Shiloh, it was simply growth. She was not bound to one image or one path. Her fashion choices became a reflection of freedom, each look telling the world she would not be placed in a box. The collapse of Brangelina. By 2016, the perfect image of Brad and Angelina had started to fall apart. After more than a decade together, Angelina filed for divorce.
She and Brad Pitt filed for divorce way back on September 19, 2016,
citing irreconcilable differences. The news spread instantly, leaving the world stunned. For years, they had been seen as Hollywood's strongest couple, a symbol of love and partnership. Suddenly, that story was over. The separation quickly turned into a long and public battle. Custody of their 6 children became the center of dispute. Allegations surfaced, painting a picture of deep conflict inside the family. Reports of arguments, questions about parenting styles, and claims of alienation created a storm that the media followed relentlessly.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have reached a divorce settlement.
For the children, the divorce was not just a headline, it was a shift in their daily lives. They had been raised in a home that celebrated unity, and now they faced division. Shiloh, like her siblings, had to navigate the pressure of loyalty, love, and confusion. Behind closed doors, both parents tried to protect them from the noise, but the cracks were visible. The family, once admired for its harmony, now struggled with wounds that would take years to heal. Finding freedom in dance. Amid the noise of her parents' separation, Shiloh found something that gave her peace: dance.
Shiloh Jolie-Pitt is a bona fide dancing queen, proving she's an artist in the making and that talent runs in the family.
Away from cameras and headlines, she stepped into studios where the focus was not on her name, but on her movement. Hip-hop became her language, a way to express what words could not. At the Millennium Dance Complex in Los Angeles, she trained with dedication. Clips of her routines began appearing online, showing a girl full of rhythm and energy. The world saw someone transformed, confident, fearless, alive in every step. Fans quickly shared the videos, amazed at her skill and passion. For Shiloh, it was more than performance. Dance was a refuge, a place where family struggles and public scrutiny faded into the background. Each routine was both release and discovery, helping her shape who she wanted to be. In a life marked by attention she never asked for, this was her own choice, her own stage, and her own joy. Humanitarian roots. Growing up with Angelina as her mother meant Shiloh was introduced early to the realities outside Hollywood. While many children her age were shielded from hardship, Shiloh was taken to places where survival was uncertain. In 2018, she joined her mother on a visit to a refugee camp in Jordan. There she met children her age who had lost homes, safety, and sometimes family. Witnessing their struggles left a deep mark on her. She was not just a visitor. She listened, played, and connected with them as equals. These encounters gave Shiloh a wider view of the world, one that few teenagers ever experience. Her involvement showed that compassion was not just a lesson passed down, but something she embraced for herself. Like her mother, Shiloh carried the desire to use her voice and presence for something meaningful. The estate controversy. The news that Brad Pitt had reportedly removed Shiloh from his vast estate caught the world by surprise. For many, it was difficult to reconcile with the image of a father once so closely bonded with his daughter. Rumors quickly filled the silence. Some pointed to the long shadow of his separation from Angelina, while others believed it was an attempt to push Shiloh toward independence. Through it all, Shiloh's response remained quiet but deliberate. She began presenting herself without her father's surname, a subtle yet powerful signal that she wished to step away from the storm that followed her family. It was less an act of rejection than one of self-definition. Now in her late teens, Shiloh is finding balance. Dance continues to be her refuge, a craft she pursues with passion. Humanitarian work also calls to her, shaping her into someone who sees beyond fame. She manages her ties to both parents carefully, building her life on her own terms. For many watching, her strength is the real inheritance she carries forward. Shiloh Jolie-Pitt's life has never been ordinary. From her birth under global attention to the choices that set her apart, she has carried the weight of fame with quiet strength. The recent estate controversy may have stirred headlines, but her story is far greater than family disputes. Through dance, compassion, and individuality, she has shown the world what it means to grow with honesty. Her future remains unwritten, yet filled with possibility. Whatever direction she takes, Shiloh stands as proof that even in the brightest glare of Hollywood, it is possible to remain true to oneself.